We're on such a slippery slope down such a wrong road that if we don't get the road in the right direction pretty soon, it's going to be too late. Let me just play this little clip by Metaxas and get your comments on it, because he is sounding a warning, and I'm a student of World War II, that what happened in Nazi Germany could happen in America. In fact, is in the process of happening in America.
The reason religious liberty is so important is that it's one of those things that's sort of not reversible if you get it wrong. So this is one of those things. The portcullis is coming down. It's not as though we can get to this when we get to it. And I think that that's exactly the urgency in the Bonhoeffer story. He knows that it's possible to wake up the German church, and he does everything he can, but they don't wake up. Bonhoeffer saw, I think around 35, 36, and then certainly in 37, that they had lost. The church was unwilling to take a stand, and they had all kinds of reasons. Some of them are good reasons, but they weren't good enough. And at some point, the battle was over. In Germany in the 30s, you had the different sides, different parts of the church, unwilling to link arms in a sense. And in retrospect, you think, oh my goodness, imagine not linking arms against Adolf Hitler. Here you have such a clear enemy of the church. Now, many of them were ignorant. They did not understand what an enemy he was of the church. But Bonhoeffer was trying to wake them up and say that, listen, we are all united in this. We all need to link arms and fight as one and hold this line, or Germany and the German church will die. The good news is that the American church is slightly more attuned to the rumbling herd in the distance than the German church was in the 30s. The bad news is only slightly, right? Here's a picture of religious liberty under siege. And Bonhoeffer, for whatever reason, sort of like a prophet, was the only one to really see this with clarity.
Bonhoeffer faced it not in the abstract, but in the concrete world of reality, where if he'd simply renounced his faith, or just softened it, just went along, he could have spared his life. But not only did he fail to go along, but he openly resisted and rebuked, and it cost him his life.
And, the parallel today is simply that you have a government, a state, which is getting larger and larger and more powerful, and is beginning to push against the church. There's a window of opportunity where we can fight. If we don't wake up and fight before then, we won't be able to fight. That's just what happened in Germany, and that's the urgency we have in America now. And people think that's incendiary or I'm being hyperbolic. I'm sorry. I wish I were. I'm not.
Tim Wildman, he says that the church today is slightly ahead of Nazi Germany. We can fight now, but it will soon be too late. Do you agree with that?
Here's what happens, though, Jan. Part of our disadvantage is many people in this country, even Christians, don't believe we could slide that far. Mm-hmm. But once you take away the voice of the freedom and liberty that people enjoy to worship and also to practice their faith in their everyday life, which is what Hobby Lobby argued, which, by the way, they won. That's one of the victories we point out in this video, and we cover that story in detail, as you know, since you've seen the video at Time to Speak. But if we do not stand up now, as he said, we're going to wake up one day and it's going to be too late to stand up. So by stand up, I mean two or three different things. One is thank God for groups like the Alliance Defending Freedom, Liberty Council with Matt Staver, Liberty Institute with Kelly Shackelford, and a handful of other groups who are doing pro bono work to defend Christians across America. We need to support these groups financially and pray for them. The other thing is we have to vote for the people who are against tyranny and against the oppression that comes with this using government to go after Christians. We have to vote for people of good character and good moral fiber. Those things are important. You may not be always able to find a perfect person to vote for, city council, state legislature, congressman, president, but a lot of times you can. You can find good people that you can vote for, you can work for. Maybe you can run for office yourself as an option. So I'm just saying we have to get involved. So many Christians are sitting on the sideline that it's a shame. And that's one reason we do this video is a call to action. Let's read our brothers and sisters who are ignorant of what's going on.
The name of the video is A Time to Speak. You can also learn more at atimetospeak.com, but you can order it at my store, olivetreeviews.org. But you talk, Tim Wildman, and you talk about the need to be informed. And here's my dilemma with telling people to be informed, is most don't want to be informed. I write a lot about that. They want to be disconnected. They want to be disengaged. It's safer. It makes them feel better to not know the facts. And that's what you and I are battling 24/7. And you know it because you do an Issues radio program like I do. And I know you get some feedback that says their friends and family, they want to be disconnected. The truth is too hard to handle today.
Is that human nature?
Yes.
I guess it is, even for Christians.
Yes, for Christians too.
Well, I guilt trip people is what I do,
okay.
Jan. I try to, if that's what it takes. It's irresponsible at a minimum. Good night. How many people in the history of the world had an opportunity to vote for their leaders? I mean, the history of the world is one of kings and kingdoms and tyrants, totalitarianism, and that's still probably the majority of the world if you look at it. So we just have to wake people up as best we can, do what we can, to share with them the importance of voting and of being informed, of being engaged. I know it's very frustrating, when you talk to people and you talk to them about what's going on in the world, and they look at you like, I don't know if talk about the Kardashians. Maybe I know what you're talking about. But you know what? We just got to keep plugging, got to keep trying to do what we can and engage as many people as we can. We're going to know a lot, this election cycle and the next election cycle if we're able to get these, especially these Christians who already believe the right way, in terms of they believe in being born again and believe in Christ, but that doesn't transfer over to their civic responsibilities.